Looks alone just will not do it. Looks alone just will not do it. And I could stop right there with the message. To Yahuwah be all of the glory in the name of Yahushua Mashiach. This is the day and or day evening. It's still the day that Yahuwah has made, regardless. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. It also happens to be Sabbath when I'm uploading this video on the ninth day of this third month, 2024. And so with that being said, appearance alone or looks alone will not do it. As many of us already aware of the story of when Yahuwah sent, the Most High sent Samuel out, the prophet Samuel out to anoint Israel for another king, to anoint a king, for Israel, because Saul was rejected because of Saul's rebellion towards Yahuwah. And in the journey of Prophet Samuel's journey to anoint the next king, we find out and discover that Jesse had quite a number of sons, and when Prophet Samuel arrived at Jesse's house, there was one of Jesse's sons, and I'm going to go ahead and read that in verse in Samuel chapter 16, verses let me see, in verse 7. It is written, but Yahuwah said to Samuel, do not look at his appearance or his stature, because I have rejected him. Humans do not see what Yahuwah see, for humans see what is visible, but Yahuwah sees the heart. Verse 8, Jesse called Abinadab and presented him to Samuel. Yahuwah hasn't chosen this one either. Samuel said, then Jesse presented Shammah, but Samuel said, Yahuwah hasn't chosen this one either. And after Jesse presented 7 of his sons to him, okay? 7 of his sons to him. Samuel asked him, are these all the sons you have? There is still the youngest, he answered, but right now he's tending to the sheep. Samuel told Jesse, send for him. We won't sit down to eat until he gets here. So Jesse sent for him. He had beautiful eyes and a healthy, handsome appearance. I want to stop right there because the point is that we see there's a resemblance. Both the eldest son of Jesse's as well as David had obviously a nice appearance. But the one thing that, the one main thing that differentiated Samuel's eldest son in comparison to David, the youngest, is that David was tending to the sheep. David also had a nice appearance to go after, right? Per se, a handsome appearance, but he was tending to the sheep. So he was right in a position that the Most High needed him to be in. But Samuel's oldest son was not, obviously, because in the position of spiritually, because Yahuwah said it himself, that man looks at the appearance and the stature, but Yahuwah looks at and examines the heart. Okay? So I want to just say to the women, to the men, or what have you as well, it's not, looks alone just will not do. One's posture has to be in the right position with Yahuwah. And one of the main things that Yahuwah wants to see and actually observes to see is if one's heart is truly after him. And one of the indications is one is sincere about his sheep being tended to. Okay. What makes a leader a great leader is when they look after the sheep for the good, to do them good. So David was about the business of watching over the sheep before he was king, before he was anointed king. Keep that in mind. So it's not about looks alone. It's about the posture and position of a person's heart when it comes to serving, when it comes to being in the right or going along in the right perspective, how Yahuwah sees it when in terms of one's heart when it comes to the sheep, okay? That's what make a leader a good shepherd. And we know that what also tops anything and everyone is one that is being led by the good shepherd himself, Yahushua HaMashiach. So I pray that this message encourages, blesses, enlightens, reminds, and do whatever Yahuwah have it to do to glorify him and Yahuwah alone. And this I pray and believe and decree in Yahushua's name, for looks alone just will not do. Okay? Got to have some real substance. All right. Peace and love. Talk to you all soon.